So today I'm talking a little bit about Ascension Symptoms for those of you maybe new to this whole experience of what some people term as awareness or awakening or becoming more grounded and embedded and embodied on this earth. In other words, we've stopped the running and we're looking around us and we're feeling into purpose, feeling into truth, feeling into what it is to be here now, essence, presence, all of the juicy stuff like that. Hello, Judy. And Nicola, welcome. Nell, welcome. So I had a dream 2 nights ago and it was super vivid. And a couple of people I know were in the dream and their children were in the dream. And the dream entailed a lot of my own personal stuff as well, but also collective stuff. And part of that being the shift, the transience, the transitioning into, and I am using this word a lot, but the body, embodying all these energies, be they what we term negative or positive, right? That thing of what's not so good and what feels good too, because we're getting blasts of all types of energies and also within our own cells. So the dream kind of was a little bit about how can, those of you and some of you I know on here have already, been doing this work too. You're not new to it. For the brand news or even people that have kids and the kids are going through right now, the youth of today, especially with what's happening with Miss Corona, and our governments and the whole thing around that. How can we just maybe even bring acknowledgement, awareness to what symptoms are so people don't feel isolated and alone in it, that they realize actually this is what's happening for a lot of people right now. You're not alone. And if there's any advice, tips, tricks, or messages that come through to help facilitate the ease in that transition, in the integration of the energies, then I'll invite that through. But also for you to share that with others that you know. What I got was a sense of aloneness, people feeling super alone. And I just found out, obviously, in the last 2 days, lockdowns started happening other places. But also today we found out where I am, they've now constricted our movement here too. And that's news to me. I just found that out. So I'm like, people are losing that sense of community again when they just were feeling it open at Christmas, if they even had that at all. So Ascension Symptoms, let me just get into that. Hello, Elena. Ashmita, welcome. Elena, welcome. Donna, you've your kids, yeah. The dream with the children, it kind of really hit me. It brought me right into the heart space because the purity of kids, like it's just that essence of purity that's with them right now. And then sensing their confusion, their uncomfortableness, their pain and what they're absorbing in as well. And I don't know what's happening. Why, is this what it is to be here? I don't want to be here if that's the case. That whole sense of despair and, oh my God, I really felt it come through in the dream, and how anything at all we can do via, even, I don't have kids, but even in speaking to others that do, like friends of mine, or just in my intention in that connection, I was like, what can I do about this? I've dreamed about it for a reason. If there's anything at all I can do, then I will. Today, I started deeply this morning, and this is partly why I was late. I had a whole shift in my body around, and this isn't the fun part of this, right? Around when I was 16, 17, and there was a girl in our school that she committed suicide, and I had the whole flashback of that. And this is what I'm going to say, Ascension Symptoms and trauma, it can activate trauma that's stored, so old stuff. So this for me is almost that too, okay? And I know that it was in preparation for me to come on here to talk about this, and bringing me back into that space of what it was we all felt, what it was, the group, us kids, what we felt together in that pain, in that what happened here. And that so many kids are experiencing that right now as well. I've just had news from Ireland of things that happened there. Kids are leaving. They're not deciding to be here. and youth, young adults in their 20s, young people that haven't fully, had the whole experience of life. And it's not from COVID, okay? It's not from that. It's not from sickness. It's with their own hands. So there's an essence of, if there's any way that they can realize that some of that is actually an Ascension symptom, some of it isn't just depression, because it's amplified. Depression is amplified by that. Hopelessness is amplified by these energies coming through, because it wants us to shift through them quite quickly right now. So I just took some notes. I'm going to open my book up to have a little look through. And just talk in general right now. I got really heavy really quick. Okay, everybody will experience what we call Ascension symptoms, or awakening, or shift, transitioning differently. Nobody is the same. Nobody is the same, because each of our signatures of our DNA is different. Each of our soul fingerprints are different. But there is a collective agreement on certain symptoms will look like this, okay? And they tend to be sleeplessness, sleeping a hell of a lot more. So opposites, like excessive sleep, zero sleep. Hot, temperature changes, like it's almost like your hormones are going mad. Hot, 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 cold, cold, cold. Sweating, metallic tastes in the mouth, dry mouth, excessive wet mouth, sinus issues, streaming of the tears. And these are often release symptoms as well. When I'm working with energy, I'll get like teary eyes, nose will run, tinnitus, ringing in the ear, pressure around the head space. The third eye, is the pineal gland, is decalcifying as these energies come through as well. Any implants that are there may even be felt physically through headaches. Tension, TMJ, lots of TMJ around the place. Grinding of the teeth. And this is that, the whole locking of truth. This can be karmic stuff being amplified by the energies coming through, ancestral stuff amplified by the energies coming through, and trauma that we have had stored will also come up. Even more, if you don't have TMJ, you might find tension there. And as I'm saying that, I'm going to move my jaw. Throat stuff, almost like lumps, stones in the throat. That's your throat chakra. Again, amplification of anything that's stuck there from the energies coming through. When we say Ascension symptoms, people can feel like their throats, clearing the throat like that, right? Some people, if they have any implant or binding, or they made a vow of not speaking truth, that'll get amplified here. They may even lose their voice, or have stages of the voice getting very croaky. It might feel really hard and tight and constricted to talk. So this will be, Ascension symptom will be amplified by your own personal experiences, essentially, that you're shifting through, right? Welcome, Carl. Hello, Joe. Hi, Yasmin. And welcome, my love. So I'm just going through some of this right now. I'm moving down the body as I'm going. Now I am going to mention the back of the head, because I kind of went to the throat before I went here. So we have a crown chakra, causal chakra here. It's like the halo that you see painted on saints in holy paintings and churches or whatever. The causal chakra here, which is where we receive a lot of the divine feminine energy coming through. That causal chakra, which when I do soul readings, I really tap into a lot of not past lives sometimes, but like planetary lifetimes. So Sirian, Lyrian, Arcturian, Andromedan, Vega, all this kind of stuff. You'll tap into that back here. So you could have the traumas of that kind of come through here, manifesting as tight neck and stiffness. In this life, you'll have the fear, flight response. So it's not safe to be in my body. So the reason I'm kind of referencing ancestral stuff here and karmic stuff here is because I tap into a lot of that personally. Not everybody will, okay? And not everybody needs to, by the way. You don't need to do that. It's just how I experience things. I'll have like a flash of, oh my God, this pain here, and that's from that when that happened there, right? So that's why I'm referencing for those of you that may have an inkling or a sense of that's happening too. That pointy bit at the back of the head here, and you can put your finger back there, you feel that bone sticking out, right? Right where it feels like your head's going to be sitting on your spine. That point in there, and all the points here getting very stiff, tender, sore as well. the locking, the spinal fluid there. Now, I'm not a doctor, but this is how when I see energy or see things in the body, that emotional blockages can cause this tender area and massive stiff neck. It also activates the nervous system response in the body, which would be the parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system. Essentially, the overdrive, fear, flight, fight, faint, freeze effect. So that kind of whole thing, like I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, or anger. Okay, anger will be expressed throughout this as well. You'll fight, you'll go into all these responses. It is part of this ascension process. It's what will be activated by the energies coming through. And everybody, like I said again, will experience it totally differently. I'm saying this just so that if you are, or you notice your child, your teenager, your young adult going through things like this, maybe it's not just because somebody triggered them. It could also be an amplification of these energies coming through. And you can have a chat if they're open, right? They're not alone. You're not alone is what I want to say. So let's move further down again. And we're into the shoulders. A lot of tension in the shoulders. And this can come through because stuff we haven't let go of. We've been carrying it, right? Now, ancestral stuff here too. Burdens that we've taken on as children. And it'll be amplified. It maybe was there, but we didn't tap into it before. But it's heavier now than ever before. Because of these energies coming through and coming at us and without of us wanting to release. The word I'm getting here is the sacrifice, the self-sacrifice, the martyr syndrome stuff, again, amplification of that. And this is also karmic stuff and ancestral stuff. I'm going to take a glass of water. I need to drink more. As we move down now into the higher heart. So this here, the sacred heart, and I'm going to move my scarf and my hair out of the way. So our sacred heart area here, the sacred heart is the higher heart, right? The divine will, divine heart will. Then we have just right here in the center, so without flashing you too much, this space here is your lower heart, your actual heart chakra. So if we're to break these two up, because you can feel it, you can definitely feel this, you can have different symptoms, or it'll feel like definitely this is higher and this is lower. So the higher heart right now in a lot of people is opening with part of this ascension symptom. It can be very mild. It might be a little tender. You might have to breathe into it a little more. It might be constricted. It might feel painful, tender even to touch physically. Or you might feel like somebody has taken a surgeon's scalpel and they have ripped through you and you're opened up like this. It can go anyway. And that's the front of the heart. That's the giving out. The back of the heart can also, and even I'm aware within me, this is activated right now for the last 3 weeks. I've been feeling this. The back of the heart between the shoulder blades, which is our receiving, and also working through where we're not good at receiving love. It's conditional. We've been betrayed. This might be more amplified physically, and it can feel like a sore back. So you're thinking you have a sore back, but actually your heart chakra at the back is opening. You can feel like your shoulder blades, there's something going on here, and you're going to the chiropractor, you're taking ibuprofen, and essentially there's a heart opening at the back. The front can show up as palpitations, shortness of breath. Your breath can get stuck, caught. Rapid breathing, again, that's part of the nervous system response as well happening. Fluttering, arrhythmia. And for me, I remember one time a few years ago when this started happening with me big time, when I first started awakening, I actually was like, oh my God, I have to go to hospital. It felt like the physical heart itself, which would be, here, it felt like it had turned and I was in excruciating pain. It felt like I had a heart start, it was like it had flipped in my body. Like a physical shift in the heart, in the pumping of it or in the movement of it. So it can show up in so many ways that are quite frightening for people physically, that mightn't even be consciously aware that these are all symptoms. And by the way, I am not saying that if you have symptoms extreme like that, don't go to a doctor, because if you need to go to a doctor, go see a doctor. But I'm saying this is how I experienced it. I was able to tune in and ask, did I need to see somebody? Did I need to go to hospital? And I got told no. Now, you tune in and use your discernment in this. That's my little caveat here. But I am saying this is what I personally experience. If we're moving, what else around the heart? Is there anything else around the heart? Well, intense grief. Okay, so we're talking lungs and heart here. Intense grief that can come up, almost like you're breathing out black smoke, or you can't breathe. The weight of the world is within you and without of you. That can lead to a lot of emotional responses like hopelessness, depression, anxiety as well here. A lot of anxiety being held here. All of these are amplified by the Ascension symptom amplifications, like by the energies. Let's move down another little bit because I just want to see what else. Okay, solar plexus, tightening, constriction. I'll often get it around there too. Tightening and constriction of the solar plexus. Like you've been punched in the gut sometimes. You've been winded around the diaphragm area. Again, I've experienced that. And this can last. When I say all of these things, they can be seconds. It's not like it needs to last 3 or 4 weeks. It could be quite slow and gradual and mild. That may be longer, or it could be very strong, potent, and it's a punch and you're winded and then you're fine, you know, a few minutes later as you work through it. So I'm going to go a little bit into the organs. Again, I'm not like, I don't specialize in this. It's just what I experience and it's what I'm reading when I read people. The gallbladder right now, anger, gallbladder, repressed and stored emotion coming out of that will make it feel like you have gallbladder issues. 6 weeks ago, I personally was like, again, oh my God, I have a gallbladder issue, I have terrible pain, and it felt like even digestion, reflux issues. And if I went on one side, I was like, that is my gallbladder, I know it is. And I was feeling into a super tender sore and all the symptoms, and I looked it up, Google, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it is gallbladder stuff. At the time, I knew I was actually processing a lot of emotions around anger and repression and all that kind of stuff. So your organs can be overtaxed and overworked right now as part of this movement of energy through us, which is part of the awakening, right? Again, it only lasted an hour and I was fine. I knew I didn't need to go see somebody about it. I did a cleanse as well. So when we're listening deeply, we can know what to do to support ourselves. Again, if we're to move to the kidneys, this is what I'm seeing with a lot of people: kidney, bladder, urinary issues and gut issues right now. Kidneys are filtration systems. They do a lot of work, and their energy that passes through them every single day as well is huge. So when our bodies and our nervous systems are off, when we're in fear flight mode, PTSD, trauma, these are really taxed, really taxed. The kidneys, and of course the adrenal glands are right on top of them as well, like all the hormone release, adrenal, you know, everything. So kidney infections, urinary infections, the feeling of urgency to pee. Now, they're sickness, like, you know, that's dis-ease. You may not even have a bacterial infection. I want to say that right now. You may not, if you're experiencing that, you may not have actual bacteria. It could be the inflammation. And this was something the person I was working with actually got tested, and she had all the tests. They couldn't find any bacterial infection. And as we went and worked into it, it was massive inflammation. And once we did everything cleared after we did a process together. So again, anger, frustration, so much frustration coming up right now. These energies, ascension symptoms coming through, just amplifying everything. So let's move a little deeper again. So we went past the solar plexus, we're into the sacral, the womb space, the hara space in men. This is our creation energy. We can either we can flux between the different states with these energies coming through. One is the beautiful positive states, the bliss states, the happiness, the joy, the experience of the beautiful love. The other state is like the opposite, right? Where you'll tap into the shadow aspects. And that would be the grief, the pain, the suffering, the not feeling so good, despair, hopelessness, loneliness, sadness. So it's like this flux, and you can move between both of these. It's like the Irish weather. You can experience Ireland on one day. You could have snow, sleet, sun, rain, and wind. Like you could flux between all of it in one day. And there is no right and wrong with this. Everybody is unique in their own experience. So just breathe into that as I've been kind of moving through these quite quickly. Okay. womb issues, bloatedness, cramping, and PMS that's amplified. Again, no periods can happen. Late periods. A lot of flow, if you want to use the word. I'm trying to find like words. A larger amount of flow. If you're a lady, obviously this is for, you know, ladies that are in menstruation, or women that identify with, you know, menstruation. It could be a heavier flow than usual as well, which is like that clearing out again of the linings. The fullness, and then this can affect creativity, okay? So you might feel stuck creatively. You have no ideas anymore. You're stagnant. You feel it's pregnant almost, like full. Oh, and this is full of emotion and gunk and that's been broken out of your cells by the energies coming through, which is an ascension symptom. It just is, this might be how you're experiencing it. Right, we're moving from the womb. Again, you'll have ancestral stuff come up there as well. Into your root chakra, and the root all the way linking right back up to where we are here at the back of the neck, because we're talking about fear, flight, fight against, safety, certainty, money stuff, manifestation stuff, sexual energy stuff as well. Safe on earth. Am I safe to be in this body? Am I safe on earth? Can I trust my body? Can I trust earth? And if you believe in source, God, creator, universe, can I trust source, God, creator, universe right now? Where is that? Where am I feeling supported? All of this again, as we experience it in the physical, and this could show up as you're running from yourself. You start running away from being present, right? It can show up as irritability. It can show up as hopelessness. It can show up as completely frozen, like a Bambi deer, terrified to breathe. So you're not breathing. You're holding on to your breath. That kind of whole, like, you would be surprised how often I see that in people. Barely breathing, shallow breath. As I take one myself, and I invite you to feel in, as I'm saying this, just keep feeling and supporting your body. Hold it in any spot you're feeling as I talk with you right now. So we're on the root. So the sphincters in our sitting space, the urethra, that can be inflamed as well. Our pressure, I've said that before. The dryness in the, if you're a lady, the vagina as well can happen again because there's hormonal shifts. But also, I'm going to say this because it's shown up. I'm getting super technical. Your sensitivities are increased during your awakening ascension. During these energies, you're going to be way more sensitive to sound, to light, to the chemicals around you, to what you're taking into your body. And even for ladies, and I'm particularly speaking to the ladies out there, and I mentioned menstruation again because I've been having text messages come to me recently, and I'm getting tampons that have bleach and chemicals that didn't before affect ladies are completely causing issues down in their nether regions right now, in their sacred sex area, and they're having to shift and change. So if you're having any issues down there right now, be aware of what you are putting up and in. Be aware of what you're putting in through your mouth as well. So all of that is just, we're getting amplified. We're being super sensitized as we're clearing out. And this is all part of the cellular regeneration as well. We are moving between numbness, disassociation, repression into becoming more open and stuff like that as well. So there's some of the stuff at the front. If we're moving to the back, into the colon, into our digestive tract area, up into the small intestines, the absorption of vitamins and, you know, the gut bacteria, if we're into the elimination aspects. So constipation, over elimination, like IBS symptoms, again, these can be complete, you know, you're amplified right now. So anybody with immune system disorders as well, it can feel worse when we're receiving these energies coming through us because we're healing at an amplified rate. And we're being invited to heal, which means you're being forced to let go in a way. It gets so bad that you're uncomfortable in it anymore. You can't stand it, and you're making different decisions about, I'm going to heal, I'm going to let go, I'm going to integrate, I'm going to acknowledge this. Forgive and let go, breathe, come more embodied and allowing the body to heal. Again, it's going to look different for everybody. As I'm talking to you, I'm going to breathe into my own canal and open that area. I always say this, I hold there, and I hold because I never felt safe. It's a habitual body reaction that I have from being a child when I wasn't safe, didn't feel safe. So as I'm talking to you, just like bring your awareness there, soften, open, let it get soft. And I'm opening as I talk to you. So I invite you to do the same. Notice what kind of tension are you holding there, right? So yeah, I'm getting a bit super graphic for people, but there you go. We are also going to talk a little bit about what else do I have here? So our gifts and abilities coming online. Hello. Hello Shamita and Sarah and Anne-Marie, welcome. We are just talking Ascension Symptoms, how it might show up for you and how varied they can be. So I was going to say something and it was going to be on our gifts and abilities coming online. Empath abilities, transmuting other stuff, other people's stuff, not your own. So we're now going to move out of the physical body. Now I didn't mention your hip area, your lower back area. Maybe I should before I move out of the body altogether. Lower back pain, so common right now. Stiffness, sciatica, hip issue, knee issue, ankle issue. Again, all about moving forward as well, but also blockages happen within these areas from storage of old emotion and trauma and ancestral and karmic and all that kind of crack. So that can get amplified right now for people. So in me, I'm stiff now. Again, this happens every time I have new energies come in. I always get, it's like classic. I know when the new energy is coming. I'll wake up in the morning more stiff in my lower back and I'll have to open it out every morning. Whereas, if I'm not feeling it, I don't. And that is lower back issue stuff presents as, again, not safe. Am I supported? There's physical stuff I'm healing there, slip disc. So it's just like another element of that release and things get stored. And, density tends to come down. It tends to filter and settle like heavy gas goes deep and low and down that space. So lower back issues, hip issues, stiffness, that kind of thing as well. Knees can cause issue for people. And again, we have energy centers here. There are minor chakra systems if we're talking about energy centers and chakras. And I won't get into all of that with you now, not in this talk. But we have minor chakras in these spaces and blocks. They can easily have blocks either through the lymphatic system, which I haven't mentioned yet, swelling, retention. The lymph system can become taxed in this as well. So all of that are aspects that get amplified during and experiencing ascension symptoms from energies, okay? Energies coming from above, but I'm not just saying from above. I am getting the earth herself on the 21st of December. People were thinking, solar flares, No. She received a vast amount of energy. We're attuning to the earth now. Okay, so it's from above and below even more. So our feet chakra is opening up. Anybody with feet issue or like, plantar fasciitis, I can't even say that. You might even notice if you massage your toes, little crystals, right? Or your tips of your fingers, little kind of uric crystals. All these things are the body expelling, the cells releasing again, and toxins are coming out more. So we're on a massive detox physically when we receive these energies. And that's why the organs can get taxed. That's why the vessels, that's why our lymph systems, that's why our circulation systems, that's why the digestive systems, urinary systems, respiratory systems, everything is more under pressure because of this upgrade. What can we now do to facilitate the physical and the emotional and the spiritual? So that's my next kind of question that we feel into. Once we know, this is what's going on, and we can give it acknowledgement, instead of maybe thinking we need brain surgery or a pile of medications, that actually these are symptoms and maybe there's another way to look at it. Again, I'm not a doctor. Some people may need this medication to assist with another thing. I'm not saying go off all medications, by the way. That is everybody's personal journey. I just want to be very clear on that. Whatever I say, you filter it through your reality, because I can only speak from the general and your discernment. All right, so we are moving out now. We're moving out from the physical, and we'll come back to what we can do to support. And I'll have a little meditation and clearing at the end of this for that too. Okay, so we are energy beings. We have a field within us with like the exciting aspects of our meridian systems, our chakra systems, the beautiful aspects that every single valve is a portal in our body that's physical, if you think about it, like, wow. But if we move out from that further into the more energetic layers, the energy fields around us, we have an electromagnetic field. And it's not just around the heart space, it's everywhere around us, and it can go out for miles. If we're to feel out into our closer one, right, this field here, a few feet out, and we go out a little further again, where your whole hands extend out, further out. It's like you'll feel differences in your field the further out you go, is kind of what I want to say. And different things get processed in different areas of this field. If it was to be like an onion layer, like, when you peel an onion, there's different layers, and different things can be in our awareness at different times, depending on the layer that we're tuned into, that's being activated, that's, coming up for us to work through, to see, to acknowledge, to shift, to whatever, to embody. So I'm going to just talk, and first I'm going to just go, I don't want to get too complicated in this, I want to make it simple. For some reason, the word death cycle is coming in, and I want to talk a little bit about death cycles. Everything is a death cycle. We breathe in, we're creating life. The pause between that and exhale is like a point of death. It's a point of nothingness. Death is a space for something new to come in to grow. And we're in a cycle of that right now too. Everything is crumbling around us. We can see it more in the 3D than ever we did before, right? It's in that cycle. So the body is doing that too. So Ascension Symptoms can have that feeling of a death cycle as we purge, release, let go. So that was just one thing I wanted to quickly talk about, and that we can be afraid of anything to do with death because we've been programmed that way, and death has been shown to be a scary thing, an unknown, something to aspire against. Aging, like, it's not great to get old. It's all in the programming, either whether we're aware of it or not. It's within us. It's also in the nature aspect of survival, right? So the death cycle can get activated. That death fear thing can get activated as well, where the body again goes into the fear, flight, flight mode. So I'm just saying that for some reason that I had to say that out loud for somebody. So when we're in these symptoms, our own ones, other people are going through it, consciously or unconsciously. The idea is that everybody's on this is conscious of it, right? Anybody's tuning into me, you're conscious. You're conscious of, at least you're going through something. Those that are not conscious of it, that are what some people might call asleep, or maybe they're just in their lullaby right now. They haven't quite opened up or woken up to everything, although this is the, 2020 was the year of awakening. And we're all at different phases of that. Those of us with these fields, and our empath gifts are coming out, our sensory gifts, where we become clairsentience, consciously or unconsciously, when these gifts activate, we can actually start transmuting and taking on other people's stuff in their fields, the collective. And we're also feeling that, working through that. And that can definitely amplify the ascension symptom thing that we're talking about right now, okay? So part of today's clearing, we're going to invite the enmeshment that might be happening to disentangle. We want to disentangle all of these energies. Now, this is part of vibrational matching too. I mean, this is so layered and complex to even go into. So I want to keep this super simple, and it's going to be different for everybody. So if I'm talking general, what's within us, you know, there's a hook and a loop, and it'll attract something. But also as gifts come online, part of the soul body wants to experience what it's like to transmute, what it's like to filter, you know, in the heart and love for humanity. Perhaps that's our way of helping, or that's a belief we have, or it's a savior complex that's been, you know, passed down to generations and we didn't know it's there. Again, this can show up so many different ways. But what I'm saying is, for us right here, right now, we're just becoming aware that it's even there. Let's tap in and tune into that field that's here around and within us. Thank you. Somebody is pointing my awareness, a guide, around barriers. They want me to talk about barriers. I don't have this written down in my notes. Barriers and protection shields. Now this is the unconscious ones, the unconscious barriers, walls, blocks that have been put up or passed down, usually from a traumatic experience, a pain, and they're there for protection. A decision, a vow, an agreement was made to put them there. They're crumbling, and that can feel like a reality distortion and breakdown for people as the energies come through. I'm being told that right now for somebody out there who's feeling a loss of identity, which again is part of this death cycle. That's why the word death cycle came in. I'm to lead on with the ego death. Okay, thank you. That it can feel like that breakdown. You see, everything is, it's that breakdown. Oh, it's that moving into the mushiness, liquidized almost. And how do we come back into the body with that? Keep breathing, keep breathing. Okay, so as I'm talking about this, if anybody's feeling this, just breathe. All right, so that is also in our layers out here. They're starting to crumble, which is also why part of the pain in the back, between the rib, between the shoulder blades and the front here as the chakras open, is happening more as well, because our barriers and protections are crumbling with these new energies. The energy, the vibration is at such a frequency that the frequency that these were made with, it's just penetrating right through them. You know, it's like water through a sieve right now. That's how we're being blasted. So that is part of that. Okay. So codependencies showing up, in relationships, dependencies showing up in relationships, enmeshments, all of that tends to be from around the fields out here as well, you know, where we've taken on people's stuff through, you know, conditional love aspects. I will be accepted and loved if I act this way, and if I show up this way, if I help that way, if I love this way. So that is being re-filtered, readjusted as well. Vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, and I talk about the vagus nerve a lot. I might do a little exercise before we start. I want to get into it now because we're long enough talking about this. These are all like the really physical stuff. I haven't even gone into the cellular aspect or the DNA aspect yet, because that's it's pretty known. Vagal nerve stuff. So the vagus nerve and the toning of the vagus nerve can go a bit wonky right now. As I'm talking to you, my voice is going to acknowledge that. Thank you. So it affects your throat chakra, your vocal cords, your vagus nerve. Vagus nerve goes right into your brain stem. You know, it's so important, this vagal nerve, and it's never talked about by doctors. The vagus nerve controls your heart rhythm, your lung rhythm, your breathing, your digestive system, how you pee, your urinary system. It's down to the cervix for women, so your sexual systems. If that's, and this gets out of whack because it runs right down, that's my technical term, out of whack, because it runs right down where the spinal cord is, the spinal column. And if we're in fear, flight, fight mode, it's going to affect it, detone it, destabilize that. So everything in the body is off. Even if you're not actually sick or have a disorder, you'll feel off. So it can be depressed. It can depress everything in the body, okay? Or overactivate. So even with a thyroid, active thyroid, low thyroid, all of this, hypertension I never mentioned as well. Hypertension, feeling faint and dizzy. Or hypertension, that's why the ringing can happen in the ears too from that. These are all total symptoms. It's so many. Eye color shifts, eye issues, your sight moving weirdly, either getting clearer or getting worse, because things are shifting and moving. Popping and clicking of the bones, the hips popping, the back popping, like you're being chiropractored. This part of the brain, it hasn't happened on me anyway yet, but I know people that it has. They'll have temporal shifts, like their temporal lobes will move because their brain is actually shifting. And that's the rewiring aspect that can happen too. And also they're tapping into higher consciousness levels. And when I say that, I get a sense of some of you might actually have your jaw look different too. When this shifts, this will move, your facial structures change slightly. Symmetry and asymmetry as well, like the shift in that. I know this happened with my sister because I said that. I saw the change in her when she went through her ascension symptoms. And there's somebody I know that actually got indents here and here as well from a similar effect. So it just, everybody will experience it differently. There's no right and wrong. There's no better than or less than. Kundalini rising, Kundalini awakening is all part of the process as well. Again, that can be super fast and active or just slowly integrating. Okay, now let's... SERs, so spontaneous memories, spontaneous flashes, which can sometimes feel like PTSD. But it doesn't necessarily have to be bad either. You can have spontaneous good memories. The other aspect of that is when the gifts come online, spontaneous regressions or progressions, the timeline. You lose time. Like you're like, am I here? Am I not here? The sense of what is real and not real can be quite disconcerting during this aspect of ascension and ascension symptoms and the integration of what that is for us. The feeling of floatiness as well. I even had that a little yesterday, and I don't know what it was, but I knew there was energy, and I was looking at a cloud and it was beautiful. It was pure pink from the sunset, and I was talking to the cloud, what would it be like to be you? And suddenly I got that energy of what the cloud is, and I feel the energy come through, but I had to bring myself right back down again. So this sense of like, you can lose grasp a little and you're coming in again. So it's in and out aspect, which is part of an ascension symptom as well. So dreams, astral traveling, exhaustion, waking up, confusion, shaking and vibration in the physical body. My teeth used to do that. Sometimes I'd be shaking so hard and I would try and sit back against something that was stable and I'd still be shaking. Jerks, things like that. Again, everybody will experience it differently. And these are all aspects of upgrades too. I know when I did my last light language course, and it was the first time I did that, in the middle of it was over 2 weeks, I had a whole 8 hours of shaking, involuntary shaking, spasming. It was so strong, but I knew it was part of that symptom of I was purging, clearing, and I had no control over my body. My husband was holding me down in the bed and he was like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, it's okay, it's just ascension symptoms. So it can look different for everybody. It could be subtle and gentle, you mightn't even notice it, or it could be super intense some days, not other days. Irritability is quite common right now. My husband was so irritable yesterday and grumpy, and anything was setting him off. Like, I knew it too, because he's not that way inclined. Like, this would be in a blue moon would he ever be like that. And I had to have a conscious chat and we talked about it and we went into it. So this is, how do we facilitate and anchor and integrate these symptoms? This is the juicy part. So I hope everybody's with me so far, okay? Take another breath in with me as we're, this is information. This is a lot of information. So let's let it come into the body. And what resonates for you will, what doesn't, it's not meant for you. It's meant for somebody else maybe. So let that go. Okay. So here we go. Next part of this. What can we do to integrate, facilitate, embody the energies that are moving through so intensely right now? And I am going to say, I'm getting the day of the Epiphany, the 6th to the 8th, to the 10th. We're actually having another surge, and I've been feeling it for the last, since I had the dreams, obviously, about this for the last 4 days. But there's a massive surge coming through again, you know. The Schumann Resonance, I checked it this morning because I haven't bothered, but I checked it for this live, and I got the shock because it is the highest I've ever seen at 1,200. It's usually 7. Okay, so it's crazy off the charts. It's peaking off the charts right now, and it's going up and down and fluctuating. So what is the Schumann Resonance? That's the electromagnetic field connected, you know, the Earth, the Gaia frequency, which, like I said before, she's had a surge. So we're also attuning to her, and I've got like pen all over my fingers. We're attuning to her, as well as what we're receiving from the sun and the planetary systems, the conjunctions that have happened, the eclipses that have happened, the source consciousness coming through, Christic consciousness, what people might term 5D or above consciousness. So we're not just attuning to that, but also her, because she's changed, okay? She's shifted, she's moving, and we must move with her. So what can we do to facilitate that? We acknowledge it. We move into a stillness. If that feels good for you, get still. If that feels the last thing you want to do is get still, then consciously bring this is about consciousness, conscious movement. And it depends on what your body needs. And that's why it's like almost opposites, right? So you need to ask you what you need right now. We'll do that in the meditation. So sometimes it might feel like you've got to move hard and move that energy out of the body through physical activity, running, jumping, swimming, dancing, just generally shaking the body, like get it moving, whatever exercise that you're able to do. If you have a physical disability and you can't exercise, there are ways that you can shift the energy through breath and tension of the muscles and release, and gentle movements like a Tai Chi effect. Like just almost like you're gently moving energy out. It doesn't have to be super intense for you either. So tune into what your body's able for, but consciously do that. Connect to the earth as you're doing it. You can imagine it running through your body, out into your feet, to the earth. Like I said before, dense energies tend to settle lower down, right? Like heavy gas, the sacral area and the root area, moving the hips, moving that part of your body will really help. You can also do stuff like using your hands, which are portals here in your hands, minor chakra systems here. And I can feel mine activating just by talking about them. You can move your hands over your body. So again, this is a Tai Chi thing where you tap your whole body system, activating your lymph system. You're going to support your body whatever way you can. Tapping all areas of your body, and you'll get a sense of energy moving through that as you breathe into your breath as well. These are practical things for the body. Cold and hot, cold showers. You know, some people know the Wim Hof method. Going for a swim in the sea, even if it's freezing cold right now, if you're able, and I'm going to do it tomorrow for sure. If you're able for that, something like that is awesome. It totally gets reset happening. Simple activities, and for the vagal nerve, because you want to reset the body when it's under this stress. And I'll post, actually, I'm going to send a post about some simple things to reset the vagal nerve for anybody that felt that an issue. Clenching the hands behind, letting the neck sit back. You're I don't know if you can see me fully in this, but you're doing this, you're sitting the head back, you're breathing in, and your eye movements. With eye movements, you're going to activate parts here behind and activate the vagal nerve. And you're going to look this way, you're going to stay that way, looking that way for a certain amount of time until a reflex happens. Usually saliva will come up, or a sigh will happen, or you'll feel something, a yawn, and then you'll go and do the next. These are things that help reset, you know, stuff in your body. Put on music, sing, humming. So again, with tension in the face, the jaw, tension down the throat, vibration. If you're humming and singing, you're vibrating your body from within. Everything is frequency, everything is tone. You will help your own self shift. Not just mentally, you'll feel better, but physically, emotionally as well. Doing mantra effect, like the ram, lam, ram, if you want, you can do it simple like that, you know. Ram, all the way down, and you'll do the root, and you can do the sacred, you can work your way up the body. These are really simple things, but you're humming and toning to certain sounds and effects that will activate certain areas where you're storing stuff and help release, physically help release. Let's not forget connection. So if you are lucky enough to live with people, you know, they're in your social zones right now, hugging, touching, they're in your bubbles, whatever you want to call it, and you're able to have physical contact, increasing that can help, and asking them to enter into that with you, and, you know, getting them to tap your back, getting them to massage you, you're massaging them, but having a conscious physical touch is really important right now as well. Hugging your kids right now is so grounding for them and so grounding for you. If you have animals or pets, the same thing. All of these help reset the body. All of them. They're so simple. There's nothing like, you know, no rocket science in this. Baths, showers, salt, different salts. Today I use 2 different salts, a sea salt and a Himalayan. I connected to the sea and the earth by just using that with my intention. I put rosemary in my bath. Rosemary is a plant now for heart opening. I put some essential oils in. Like, these are all ways for me to actively release, let go, as I tune into the frequency, the energy of these things that I put in. Speaking to yourself when you're connecting. Hello, me. What am I feeling right now? Jaw that's tight. Breathing in. Massaging. Okay, what's stored here, jaw? What am I really feeling? And instantly, when I do that to me and I feel into it, I ask it questions, I breathe, I listen, I receive. I get soft. I get a sense that the jaw for me is connected right down into my sacred area, my sacred sitting space, my sexual area, and tension held there. And I'm like, what's that? What's that? And then I bring down, I go, okay, jaw, really, you're holding here because you're holding here. So what's down here? What is it I'm feeling, me? And I breathe in. I'm not feeling safe right now, or I'm not feeling secure, or I'm not feeling whatever it is for you. Let the feeling come out. Acknowledge it. Okay, me, I feel that. That's the first step. Acknowledge your feeling. Often we're running or repressing or numbing or disassociating. So we're just acknowledging, and then we can move it through. Physically or emotionally talk to it. Either through Ho'oponopono, I love you, me. I'm sorry, me, that I'm feeling. Please forgive me if I've held on to this. What do I need to do to let it go? What needs to happen to release you? What do I need? You know, oh, I'm holding on to somebody. Who am I holding on to? You know, a power thing. There's a power thing there with my father, let's say. I want him to love me a certain way and he doesn't, and I'm holding that there. And there's a cord. As I'm talking to you, I'm just seeing that I've been working on that cord. And there's another little bit with me, my father stuff, right? So am I ready to release and let that go? So we're just going into things like that. It doesn't have to be that deep though. If you even start with the physical stuff, that will move and integrate you as well. Meditation, if you're able to keep your mind quiet and you can do that, do it. I found it difficult the last while, actually. I've needed guided meditations myself personally, mainly because my physical body was feeling so much I couldn't sit still. So the movement can help to get the body ready to kind of move into that meditative space. So if you need that, go with that. Sunlight, sitting in the sun, opening up your windows, getting the sun, breathing the air in through your open windows. Breath work, so important. So finding a breath work that works for you. Connecting to animals, plants, trees, all of that grounding stuff. I'm going to ask, is there anything else that wants to happen with that? Food right now. So cleaning products, disinfectant products, every time Every time I see someone using hand sanitizer, I cringe a little in my body because I can see it penetrating the dermis layers, breaking down the skin and moving into the blood system. And I'm just like, ugh, because I get the sense of the liver is working hard to release and detoxify the toxins it's just taken in. A lot of them are cheap as well. They're not the good ones, like they're the super high, really break down. So you may have to use these things at work, depending on where you are. You may have to. There's no, you don't have a choice. Make up your own one if you can. Use that in shops. That's got natural products. But supporting your body with foods and water, everything that's going to give you the best advantage to help release the toxins coming in. Either through our breath, because there's so many disinfectants being used right now, through the sanitizers, or through, you might find you're too sensitive to use your hair dye anymore. You might find you're too sensitive to use the bleach in the bathroom anymore. You'll start to get wheezy. You might find that there's foods that you're eating that, were fine before, and suddenly you're coming out in skin rashes or welts or histamine reactions that you didn't have before. So all of this is for you to go into the gut area and the food area and speak to whatever it is you need. I still am learning this aspect of me and that connection to my body, and also to the connection of what the earth is providing us with. So live foods, organic if possible, where it's not, washing it well, alkalizing it, and then, putting your intention over it, cooking it in a way that with love, all that kind of stuff. So supporting yourself in every single way. Some of you may be called to do certain detoxes right now. January is the month we all hear from it, but coming at it from a conscious point of view of what does my body actually need. 6 weeks, it was coming to me, I had to do a metal one. I had to. My body was saying, I did one before and now I needed to do another one. I did work in a metal industry, okay? So I have proof and knowledge that I've been exposed to a lot of heavy metals. And I knew that there was another range for me to clear that out of my own physical body. I did a little cleanse on that. I took some, zeolite, chlorophylla, cilantro, very good to help the body support with that, shilajit, all these like super foods you could call them, or adaptogens, that I supplemented my body in the release and process. It's important not to detox for too long because you also you get rid of the good stuff too. So replenishment needed there. Okay. I've talked myself out of way more than I think I need to. I vaguely mentioned implants. I didn't mention anything else, but what is an implant or an entity or an energy or something that feels like, somebody said to me, I feel like I'm being attacked right now, psychically attacked right now. And what we don't realize is sometimes it may be from others right now, but actually it's our own stuff inside as well. That's just getting amplified by the energies coming through. I'm not getting into that today, but it is an aspect of it. What I am going to say is any vows, oaths, programs, decisions that made to say yes to that, we'll release Revokers in that as well. But I have a very powerful meditation transmission. It is called Negative Energy Release, Implant Release, and you can just listen to that whenever you want. It's free and available on my YouTube channel, and it's on my page here. Okay, so let us get into young people. One last part, the young people, the teenagers, the children, the mood swings right now, staying in their room, playing video games nonstop, disconnection from their friends where previously at least they had that and now they don't. There's no outlets with schools and social activities brought down. What do the young people need? If you're a parent right now, or an uncle or an aunt, or a grandmother or a grandfather, and you're aware that these kids are going through something, not just you're going through it, but the kids are going through it too. And it cannot, every kid is different, and every kid will, show things up differently. They present differently with whatever they're going through. Some might do it hiding and in silence, and you have no idea. until you ask. And I'm going to say that's been the case with somebody I knew, and they had no idea because their child is so quiet and a people pleaser kid, like they're just naturally that kind of a, you know, beautiful, soft kind of natured child. It wasn't until they saw something written and they realized that this kid was going through stuff, and they didn't want mom and dad to realize it either. They wanted to try and deal with it all on their own. That maybe we just need to, even if the kids aren't going through anything, talk about it out loud. And when we say something out loud, we create a vortex of energy, like a vacuum, to allow, if there's something within your kid, your child, your teenager, your young adult, if they're not ready to enter into that vacuum to say, I resonate with that, yes, I want to talk about that, I'll meet you in that space, they're not ready right now, that vacuum is there for them to come back into again. They mightn't do it today, they could do it next week. It could be still working through them that you've opened up a sacred space because you're consciously doing that. And it's always going to be there. You've intended that to be there. They can come into it at any time to engage with you in that. So you're giving them that space. They can come to you and speak to you about it. Even if they're not experiencing it now, maybe they will in a month, but they'll go, hey, mom, dad, do you remember when you said, I think something's happening with me right now? And you can go through it in together. Maybe you're breathing it in together. Maybe you're just talking it out loud. Maybe you're playing with, let's play with this. Let's make this a game. And depending on the age of your child, depending on how open they are, that may be what works. If the child, if the young adult, if the teenager is actually completely shutting down and it's going towards the more serious aspect of withdrawal, not talking to you, grumpiness, moodiness, anxiety, anger, aggression even, or apathy, complete apathy and hopelessness, which when I tap into that, that feels scary. When I tap into that complete shutdown apathy, I don't care anymore. I'm going to breathe and breathe in with me in this. This is not light stuff, right? We're not talking about light fairy stuff here. But this is being experienced right now. I am feeling it. I'm dreaming about it. What needs, and I'm going to even say that out loud with you, because some of you may have kids in that position or know of children in that position right now. What needs and wants to happen. Self-embodiment first is important, so that when I'm talking as if I'm you, but when I'm just going to do that, when our energy is triggered by perhaps how they're reacting to us, I don't like the dinner you made, or, you know, you ruin my clothes, and you want whatever it happens to be, whatever that trigger is, or they're not doing they're not getting up, they're not doing XYZ, they're not washing even, or, you know, cleaning up after themselves, whatever it happens to be. And that may reside a trigger within you or activate something within you. I'm not heard, I'm not listened to, I'm not, whatever that is, you tune into that within you. And you move into that space of non-dualism, you've already integrated whatever that meant about you. And you've kind of like, okay, what's the bigger picture? And tuning into your child, just like, which is really hard because that energy is enmeshed. There's conditions and expectations. But even when you're in that state of, okay, I've been triggered, I'm acknowledging that. What does Mark or Sarah need right now? You know, what do they need right now? And they might be saying, I need space, mom, or I need space, dad, but they don't. That's actually a barrier. What they might need is, I'm screaming for you to really see me, hear me, and I need you to come in right now and stay present with me until I turn to look you in the eye, whatever that happens to be. But that requires us being the adult, or us being embodied, holding that energy in that moment, in that now. And it's not always that easy. I get it. Like, I totally get that. It's easy for me to say that. But it is a way, this is what I'm getting to. It's a way for the doors to open. My throat's moving, and communication. Somebody can hear my throat's going. Communication to open up. And when kids are feeling heard, because I think so many are not right now, they're feeling heard, they're feeling connected with, they're feeling seen, they're feeling understood. That's the great thing, especially with teenagers. I'm not understood. Nobody understands me. And a lot of this is hormonal too. Like, it's not just Ascension stuff, but it's been amplified. And their release mechanisms aren't there anymore. So they've nowhere to put that. They've nowhere to talk that out with friends. They've nowhere to even energetically on a playground or in a match or whatever they used to do. It's not there anymore. So what is there? What can we create to be there? As simple as it needs to be. And the first step like that is communication, acknowledgement, opening doors out of our own trigger stuff, because they'll sense that. They'll pick up like, I'm really angry with you. That will make them push back even more. It becomes a push-pull will. It comes from the will center rather than the heart center. And the idea is that when we've moved from that, mine will be done, thine will be done, and they're like, no, mine will be done, and we're moving into the heart, it's a totally different energy. That is a gateway, is a stargate, is a portal for them to enter into. And that is their choice. And as custodians and guardians of their physical bodies on earth, but also their spiritual growth in a way until a certain age anyway, that is a way for us to provide that. There are tools and techniques being developed right now through, I am getting told this, I don't even know where to point you now, but I'm getting told there is in development online courses, there are books right now, audio books, there's even films that will also, that's my real Irish accent way of saying it, films, to help that child get more into the heart space. And you'll tune into that, whatever that is for you. Those of you that maybe need extra support or facilitators or assistance, like special needs assistance, let's say, I haven't even got into the kids with special needs yet. That is a whole other life, because I had a whole dream about that yesterday, or a whole embodiment around that yesterday. Breathe with me again on that. I have a lot of personal experience with that, so that's why I need to breathe in. And I had, I'm going to get emotional on this. So personal members in my family, very close family, I grew up with them, like my aunt, my uncle. We had, severely autistic, and we had Down syndrome in our family. So they've passed away, and their souls came in with some messages for me too, which I'll do in a different live. This is with special needs kids. And again, I'm not an expert. I can only talk from my own experience. But this is all, it's all related. Like, everything is related. So that is the first thing, heart space stuff. What else needs and wants to happen? And let's breathe into that again. Is there any other needs and wants? Creating a structure and a routine. And this is easier when they're maybe a certain age than when they're a different age. But like family meals together, no TV, no distractions, bringing it back to basics, and bringing things back and peeling away from distractions as much as one can, especially if you've gone into lockdowns now, where distractions are probably what are helping right now, right? But giving at least a sacred time, a sacred hour, a sacred whatever it is for you and your family, and discussing it before you implement it. How would it feel? Make it a game, make it playful. It's not an authoritarian thing. You're moving and shifting the energy and focus into something else. What would they like to do? What would feel connected for them and you, that you both come to that space? So that's coming in as well, like we're bringing things back to basics. Family games, things like that. Family games, again, certain ages, kids will be more into that. But I'm just getting that these are all ways and means to create that connection space, where if they're not even talking to you, or if there's one that isn't and others that are, if you have more than one kid, those that isn't, they're looking in on that and they're going to feel that resonance too. It's just opening gates and doors. Every single time you do that, you're opening gates and doors to engage that child. So that's what's coming through. And I'm going to ask, is there any more before we move into a clearing and a meditation, please? I realize this has gone on quite a while. No, are we complete for now? For now, there will be more information to come through. Thank you. How's everybody doing? Are you still with me? Let us move into our bodies right now, and all the information that I've given, I'm going to invite you to shake it off. Right, we're going to shake it off, shake off anything that we're making it mean, essentially, even if it could be activating or triggering or hitting a point within you or bringing up an energy that needs wants to bring up. And if you have water, drink some water too. You may be more dehydrated than usual right now as well. Okay, so with me, before we even get into it, I want everybody to move their body and your hips, your sacral. Breathe in, breathe out. So you're going to close the hands and open up, because we're going to open the chest. You can't see me, unfortunately, but I'm just doing opening exercises. My hands up in the air, stretching the body. Side to side, opening the neck. Do what's comfortable for you. I'm opening my spine here at the back as well. Okay, so even that chat for me was bringing up stuff, so I'm just going to release that. And my feet as well. I'm going to move my feet to move my toes. I'm just tapping the ground beneath me. Moving my legs up and down. Anybody that's having tension in the head space with lots of thoughts or anxiety, and you're just going to massage that scalp. And if you are, I'm sure you're tender, right? I'm sure this is tender to touch. So give it a good, nice massage. Keep breathing. Breathing in and out. Massaging the brow. And you're going to tap along all these points, these pressure point areas. We're going to tap and breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. You're going to tap your sinus area where we can store a lot of stuff here. And emotions in the body can get so stored, like so anger, tension, stress, anxiety, worry, right? Some people might be losing their hair right now too, and that can also be a symptom. So, and you're going to work your way to the jaw now. Now, why do I have you doing this basic stuff? This is for those of you that have a lot in the physical. Some of you might not need this. You're just already, boom, you're in. But this is for those of you that maybe need to be talked into it, guided into it a bit more, especially with the physical stuff that's actually stopping you from moving into stillness. So you're physically going to release with this. That's my intention when I do this with you. Open the jaw, open the mouth, big, wide, and yawn. Make yourself yawn. That's it. Notice your tongue. Is your tongue up here, touching the top of your hard palate? If it is, that's like a sign of holding and tension, because we want to let go. This is a whole thing of letting go. We're inviting it clearing in to let go. So let your tongue get soft. And it's almost like it's getting soft and sitting a little bit back. And everything is getting soft, and the palate's here, here. You'll notice it just relaxing. The tubes of your throat, your esophagus are just going to relax as well. You're going to start receiving the breath. And we won't do any fancy breathing technique. We won't do any, nobody's in labor here. We're not going, if you're doing that, you're holding, okay? You're just going to, right? It's like, gorgeous, beautiful. Breathe it in like it's a summer's day. You don't breathe in summer like this, right? You'll breathe it in like, Ah, yeah. Ah, it's the You want to make all these kind of sounds. These are opening sounds. Oh, ah. Breathe in. Ah. Now I'm sighing, and I'm exaggerating this because I want you to get in tune with your voice, your resonance. It holds keys and activations for your body. Your tone is unique to you. Use it. It creates a vibration. So, like let yourself out now. As you're following me, make your sounds. Whatever it is for you. I'm going to get you to also start rotating and stretching the neck, placing a hand out and just gently, slowly, because you might be stiff. You're bringing one hand out and you're putting your hand up like this. You're breathing, and on the exhale, you're gently stretching, elongating that neck. In and out again. You can raise or lower the arm to get that right stretch where you need it, that sweet spot. Breathing in, moving to center as you breathe in, and exhale again. And once again, the opposite side. And do it slowly so you really luxuriate in the stretch. Feel luxurious in it. You're releasing tension as you do so. Breathing, exhaling out as you move to center. One nice deep breath in and out again. Shoulders, bring them back and bring them forward. You're going to just move them around. With your neck, because we hold so much, I mentioned the back of the neck at the start, you're going to kind of do a duck neck, okay? Really elongate the neck out. Elongate the neck out with your shoulders back. You're stretching it. You're breathing out as you move back into center. And again, you're doing the opposite. Get your double chins going. You're bringing the neck back in, almost like your spine and your head are becoming enmeshed. You're just stretching it that way. You get all my nice double chins there on that one. Okay, you look to the left, breathing in and out. Look to the right. That's it. Give yourself a good stretch. Bring a hand up. I want you to grab the shoulder here, and you're going to bring your fingers in, dig them in like you're a hook, and you're pulling. So you're just going to pull and let your hand hang. Let this hand hang down and just breathe in and out. And you're just giving that a massage. Now you could be super tight and sore. Just give yourself whatever you're able to deal with. And do the same with the next side. Again, you're exhaling, you're inhaling. And give yourself another massage there. One side may be tighter. One side may be looser. The left being a representation of the feminine. You're receiving. The right being a representation of your masculine. You're giving. You can notice, just noticing even which one's more tight. And breathe in. Now as you breathe in, if you need to, you can stretch and move your hips. Moving and swaying in a circular motion, like you're doing a slow, sensual belly dance with your hips and tummy. And you're placing a beautiful open palm either on the heart and the womb, the tummy, the hara. And you're just breathing in and out. And what we're doing here is we're getting connected to your physical. That's maybe feeling all of those symptoms that we went through. And breathe in and out. Give your belly a warm rub. Let yourself feel the rubs. And I'm just going back and over because it feels nice. It feels comforting, like I'm giving my body a hug and I'm touching. And again, the lower back For me, that's the space I hold. So if you need to massage it with your 2 flat palms, do so now. Bringing your hands, cupping over the top of your buttocks and just bringing them up like you're massaging up into where your 2 indents are, right up to your waist. And you're just rubbing that space, massaging it. And if you want, you can make a little fist and gently tap that space. This is where your kidneys are. So you're also going to gently activate the kidneys. Now, you can't see anything I'm doing, but what I'm doing is a gentle tapping right above my buttock area. I think I need to set up my computer in a way that I can stand and show people. So I'm just using a flat open hand too. And you can hear me thumping the back, activating my kidneys. Breathe in and out. That's it. So if you have a stuck solar plexus, go higher. You can, like you're burping a baby, you're burping yourself, okay? So this activates those points in your bodies. And bring your hands back to center. You can rub that space or tap it as well. And I'm going to invite you now, we are going to start tapping. We're going to tap the shoulder here, down and up under the armpits to where your bra line is. You're going to tap where the bra line is, underneath your breasts if you're a lady, where your bra is. So I'm just using my hands underneath my breast and I'm gently tapping and breathing in and out. Right up into my heart space. That's it. And you'll feel, this is the thymus gland. We'll just tap that a little bit. And then move out, back down, flat arm to the next arm. And underneath the bra strap again. And now I want you to go right up to your collarbones and you're going to tap underneath here. Now these are your kidney points as well. So these are the kidney points here too. So you're going to tap all these spaces and back to the thymus. You're breathing in, keep breathing. Don't hold your breath while you're doing this. That defeats it. Now those of you with the open heart chakra, right where you're in the center of your chest, you can tap there. That's quite tender for me right now. Like I'm sore because I'm opening here more. So be as gentle as you want to be. And I'm just going to gently massage that. I am quite tender there still. Like I am having a heart opening. So I'm going to bring it down to, where would I say I am pressing? Where your belly meets when you're sitting down and you have your thighs, right, if you're a woman, where your fallopian tubes are. So I'm just gently along the sides of that, gently rubbing that area. And that's activating my womb space. I'm yawning, so I'm already releasing energy. And then we go down the legs, and I'm gonna move out my chair. Open your legs like you're a sailor woman, like you're going horse riding, okay? Open the legs and you're going to, again, tap in along the groin area because you have a lymph system here and you have points here. So as much as you can, gently. Now, those of you that are not comfortable with this, don't do it, okay? Those of you that had trauma here, if you're not comfortable, don't do that. Those of you that are okay, I mean, feel free, okay? And you can be as gentle as you need to be. And you're just gently tapping. Now, again, because there's a lymph system here, you're helping the lymph system. Just where the thigh and the groin meet. So that's that. And then go down the sides, down the inner leg. And I'm at my knee now. And I'm moving down to, depending on your flexibility, down to my ankles. And then I'm moving up the side, up the outer sides of the ankles and legs now, and I'm just going to tap them. Behind the knees, putting the leg out on the chair. Again, we have a lymph system there and a minor chakra system too. Lifting the other leg, doing that one. Usually you can stand up for this, but as I don't have my computer set up, I didn't think I'd be doing this, but I'm getting told that's what we need here today, and the majority of us listening. Breathe. Breathe in. Horse lips. And you look ridiculous. I know I probably do, but keep doing that. That is going to soften this more and vibrate down to your cervix if you're a lady, your hara if you're a man. So you're getting all loose. That's what we're going for. Now, those of you really tuned in with your energy, you will feel a rise in your temperature. You'll feel a rise in your energy. So we're going to now sweep with our hands over our heads. And I'm not sure if we do the top of our head, but we're going to activate the crown now shortly as well. So you can gently, like you're playing piano, tap that top of the crown. The intention that we're going to open that whole space up as well. And now we're going to sweep it. We're sweeping our auric fields. So sweep, sweep. You're breathing in, you're breathing out. I can feel energy. Like if you have a lot of thought forms up here or anxiety, you might feel that with your hands. So you're sweeping and you're shaking it out. You're sweeping and shaking. Sweeping and shaking. Okay, that's what it's kind of like you're going to push it out of your field. You're almost like you're if you were a baker and you were kneading the dough, that's kind of the effect you're doing, right? You're gently moving down your energy center. You can breathe. And as you become more activated, noticing your auric field, noticing your chakra systems, you'll know where there's more heat or density or lightness. Like I can feel that right there on me, right? I can feel it. I'm like, oh, okay. Let's let it go. And as I hum, I can feel that whatever that was in me now, that is releasing. So I'm going to do the same with you now in a bit as well. Whatever you receive from this is what you need, what you allow, what you surrender to. It's always in the highest good. I will not do anything to you that is not serving you and that you just simply don't want or allow. It is not me anyway. It is what we're calling forth from source, the highest consciousness, and it's your own higher self or yourself from the future as an ascendant master. So we're going to begin now. If you've swept your whole body down to your feet and you get comfortable, I want you to take a glass of water again. Take a sip. And that went down the wrong way. That's good. Okay, here we go. We are setting an intention that for the highest good of all watching, for the highest good of me, of life force itself, of earth, and all consciousness everywhere, all life everywhere, we're setting an intention that whatever needs and wants to happen in highest truth, highest love, highest wisdom, for the clearing of any distortions, any enmeshments, any entanglements, any dense energies, and any ascension symptoms, making the physical body painful, whatever the suffering is, in other words, whatever that is, we invite that now to release, to clear with ease and grace. Everything is for ease and grace. That the integration that we need to embody, that we want to embody, that our soul wants to experience, can be chosen in ease and grace. Take a breath in. Any resistances, any not letting go, any push, pull, any control that we are having consciously or unconsciously around our experiences right now, or our expectations, we invite that now to be shown to us, or whatever's in the highest good, to be completely released, let go, destoried, rescinded, revoked, deleted across all time and space, dimensions and realities, and so it is. So I want you to set your own intention now, and if you have water, you hold the water. We're going to do this with water if you have it. If not, you can just do it with yourself. Because I'm gonna breathe this in. I love water magic. Let us see, sense, feel beautiful light coming through. And this might be a white or golden light or a rainbow light, whatever it is for you. Imagine it, visualize it, feel it, sense it, working its way through your crown. You're opening the crown. Now, my crown is open, so like I'm literally moving with the rotation of my crown chakra opening. So you, whatever feels good for you, you just allow that. Receive, you're receiving, you're softening. So breathe in, breathe out. And imagine a light coming through. And it feels good, it feels loving. And that is holding your own intention. What is that intention for you right now? The collective one I've just said. The collective one being for a clearing, for the highest good. And for all children, I want to include the children everywhere and the young adults everywhere as well. Thank you. All life, thank you. And as I'm breathing in, that light is coming through the third eye. It's coming down the throat, in through the shoulders. And that feeling of empowerment, of love, of trust, of truth. Calling that in to move in to the hands, into the water, activating the water. Kuma atan ti eke, kumata, kumata, kumata. Any light language that wants to be activated within you, I call it forth right here, right now. Light language just being of love, of soul, of universe, of God, of the guides, of the angels, whatever it is for you. And release. Feel it into the water, thanking the water. I'm going to take a sip now. As we call and invoke in the I Am presence of each of us, the oversoul, the higher self, the Holy Spirit, holy, holy, holy. As we welcome in the divine feminine, the divine masculine, source, creator, God, universe, highest truth, highest love. As we invoke and welcome in Gaia, Mother Earth, nature spirits of highest truth, highest love, the elementals. As we invoke and welcome in ourselves as an ascended master, the multidimensional aspects of ourselves as an ascended master throughout all time and space now, welcoming it from the future, ascended here right now to facilitate us on this journey of clearing and embodiment. As we invoke and welcome in our guides, our soul star family, our ancestors, and any other beings of absolute purest, highest light, please. So that we may broadcast and amplify this intention across all realms and dimensions of reality. And so it is. So breathe in. And receive that. Breathe out, exhale. That's it. Thank you. And thank you, thank you, thank you. As we are here now in this safe and sacred space to enable and facilitate this clearing to happen within our fields and all the fields around us, I'm going to breathe, and I invite you to breathe in that breath as you relax even more into your body. And as we drink of that water, we drink this intention, anointing and blessing us with its purity. Asoma akani ichima ama akawa ichi tira antuma atawa sinima akate ndama wa aishi lama su etima hasakai. Breathing in. And as you breathe in and relax, feel your consciousness, that little you in the mind space. Feel yourself float down on the invisible elevator of the breath. Give yourself permission to float down, breathing in and out. And moving into your heart space, your sacred heart. And place a hand there on you. As you feel, sense, imagine, allow your breath to go there. And as you're breathing in and exhaling out, you're just becoming still with the breath. Noticing, observing, allowing. So breathing in and out. And giving yourself that space, that permission. Inviting that you to move down on the breath, floating and drifting on the invisible carpet ride of the breath into the heart space. And as you land in the heart space now, noticing the colors, the textures around you. Perhaps it's bright, or maybe it's dark. Maybe you're experiencing roses and golds and reds and greens. Whatever it is for you, just be there. It could be an open space, an echo. And as you're in that heart space now, I'm going to invite you, placing a hand there, speak to that part of you here. Hello, me in my heart. Say it out loud like, hello, me. Acknowledge yourself. And breathe, receive yourself in. And whatever that heart is for you, is it empty? Is it full? Is it blocked? Is it glorious? Just acknowledge what that is for you. Hello, me here. I feel it's... And say that out loud. And thank you, me, for being here. For being present here and now. And breathe and receive. We're inviting in now a connection to self, a connection to source, a connection to the earth. Your field is activating around you, electrified, amplified, receptive. And little symbols may start to come into your awareness. Maybe there's sigils or signs. Maybe it's squiggles. But get a sense of a symbol for you right now in your heart. Maybe it's the heart sign itself, or a pyramid, or a line, or a cross. Maybe it's quite complicated. Spiraling. And just breathe that in, receive it. It's here to help, to unify. And let's invite in the unity symbol. That's a figure 8. It looks like an 8. It's looped around itself. And that unity symbol, the infinity symbol, expands with your breath. So breathe in. And expands with your awareness as you breathe out. It might be moving, it might look like a golden light, a fractal shining. Just receive. It's going to heal you in whatever way you need. Whatever that symbol is for you, Maybe it's just you. We're going to invite an activation now to activate and clear out all karmic and ancestral, all traumas, all sufferings, all pain from the heart space. All grief, loneliness, depression, apathy, hopelessness, anger, frustration, whatever it might be, anything at all in the heart, sadness, all expectations even, anything that you've been holding on to for someone else, anywhere you've been betrayed or abandoned or hurt, at any timeline, past, present, future, dimensional, other world, whatever that might be, and that it's not serving you, whatever is not serving you now, we're going to invite that to be healed, cleared, acknowledged. And if you are needing to acknowledge it, like say, I'm sorry, me, that I'm feeling. I'm sorry I've held on to this. Forgive me, I didn't know, whatever that is. Say what it is. I'm sad, I'm lonely, I'm afraid, me. I'm just afraid of what's coming. I don't know, I don't understand. Whatever that might be. What if I'm not good enough, me? I'm afraid I'm not. Oh, breathe in, let it out. Thank you. We invite now an amplification. We invite an attunement through the own I am presence. Ma'atani hiti ma'akuta amandak al hiti. Shama sunam nahiti larar katai. Au, au, yamaya, yaneaku asusara ushansae namaya ula ishinse makante nimau nanyama wasantiate au ayashente tekau naya salial wow yende amasuye anima nakara la yenze Raniama suyeti katanama solaye sinzima su uyateke nama urina isike shanta maete niwa amba ne emaheke inshi ara untkamana ise uendama isile ikirina ma savana ite Kwaana mani iri umana ike leheti, shaana su urin mana ite kala usuru ku, yani ma sawani mana uru kumana asaye, ihiki shitana mana kuru umana ha, ile hasa uru kuru hiiti, ma shituru kutu kusumbate ichitiri kalihi. Urumsa yeti chikushu unsumsa ishiti sa la sarata ye. Ihensa ma ahantskalehe. Iria suru mana hitiri si malawayi. Vana isiriti kata mtkawaishi. Oma ye lika usu antana mashwayi. And just breathe and receive. And on your exhale, as you exhale out, you're softening, you're opening, all your sphincters, your sitting space, even more. Just like, you can sigh into it as you receive it. And just feel that little you, that consciousness in your heart space. As it's expanding out, it's opening to receive. And where it hasn't received, where it's maybe withheld or blocked or had protections, walls up even, that's making it hard for these energies, making maybe you a little resistance with that ascension symptoms. We're going to invite those to be released right now. Rescinded, revoked, deleted across all time, space, dimensions, realities, all the way down to the DNA structures within you, all the way down to your DNA. And as you breathe in, you're just feeling the expansion and perhaps a light swirling around you or within you. And it's going to move within and without this infinity symbol, expanding in and out on the breath. And it's going to clear and open and unhook you from other people, from collective energies, from those you're feeling tearing you down, whatever that might be. Just let yourself breathe it out. And maybe you're having grief right now. Maybe there's even a lump in your throat. Like, let that out too. If you need to cry, let that out. Maybe you're smiling in it. Whatever that is for you. And you'll feel it working its way out of your back. It's opening up the back chakra and it's looping back around, opening up the front of the heart chakra, and it's just connecting the upper heart and lower heart. Like a wave, like an ocean wave. Just let yourself be on that breath. Like a little boat bobbing on a wave, coming in and out to shore. Shantyama Vayendyana Kodoma Shayedenima Sonama Yeketi. Ura saye, vi ishini anamaka, unatama unamase, lakina mata, shekina ma'a, nuhusuva ne'e alao, alianama ete. And again, just breathing in gently through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. And we're going to just do a little bit of an elongated breath now. We're going to breathe through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold and exhale out through a soft and open mouth. So with me, you're breathing in. Not forcing, not pushing, but just holding now. Like you're on the crest of a wave, and exhale out through a soft, open mouth. We'll do that one more time, breathing in. Holding at the crest of a wave of that energy. And exhaling out through a soft, open mouth. And let yourself breathe that prana in once again, that sacred breath. The inspiration, the life force energy. And gently hold. This is the death point where everything is getting dislodged. And exhale, release. Let go, surrender. Vuma dikete shimdanawa yuro. Na tatikatala shimnakuturmanahita be ashukuto. Ni tik ant ont et ant ont umtkati otumtkati umtkati umtkati ile washa. Kuku imne eti la shamana e. Continue with that breathing. And just as if you are on a wave now, that little you in the body, on your next inhale in, you're reaching a little higher and you're floating down the body into the solar plexus area, your divine will center, right where your sternum is. Any constrictions, anywhere you've been disempowered here, anywhere where you're feeling stuck, anywhere where somebody's feeling like they're pushing and pulling you out of your energy, right? Where you're feeling discombobulated, pushed and pulled, forced. We're going to invite now a recalibration of your divine will center. You are not operating from programs, which is determinism. You're not operating from programs, you're operating from the divine consciousness within you. Your inner knowing of what it is you need to be, to do, to say. It's a still point, that beingness, that translate into an action should you need it. So right now, let's invite that recalibration in. We're accessing deep love in the heart and divine will in this space. So breathing yourself down, placing a hand there, right in that spot, your solar plexus. And within this spot, there are symbols and colors for you to receive. Maybe you even see yourself with your field around you here. Maybe it looks like the seed of life or the Merkaba or a pyramid structure here. Just let yourself receive it. A star or a sphere. All nervousness, anxiety that's held here now, it's going to soften and open as you release the fears of what is, the fears of the future, the fears of the past, the what was. And also control, controlled by others, manipulated. And wherever you may do that in program too, even holding that you want the best for someone, but that essence of we're controlling. So let's let go. Let's, again, breathe in, let it out, soften, open. And imagining a golden sun disk here, like golden light coming through the back of you and coming out from the front of you. And just in silence. And sigh, let yourself hum if you need to. And you're just receiving that inner peace, that calm. Breathing yourself down that wave into the sacral, into your womb space, your hara space. And in this space, I want you to imagine, visualize, it's a beautiful space in nature. Whatever feels safe for you and beautiful. like you're running a movie in your womb space, in your hara space, your sacral. What would be nice for you here? What would feel safe for you here? Again, breathing in, and on the exhale, you're softening. What color is it here? Are there plants, animals? Is it in nature? Is it a room, perhaps? A temple? Are there crystals or trees? Is it the sea or the mountains? So whatever that is for you now, just see, sense, visualize, imagine. And how good it feels to be there. The sensations on your skin, the smell of it even, the feeling, the knowing. Maybe you hear the sounds of the life around you within here. And as you're in this space, we invite in your guides, your angels, your team, whoever that is for you, to show themselves to you in color or form or words or symbols. And anything stored in this space that's not serving you, particularly others' emotions or even stuck emotions of yours, programs of worthiness, creation energy, doubt, lack, scarcity, apathy, hopelessness, anything at all that's stuck here. We're going to invite that to be recalibrated, released, rescinded, revoked in any ancestral lines where that's been passed forward to you. Any karmic lines where that's been carried over, we're going to invite that now to be deleted. Throughout all time and space, past, present, future, right down into the cells and the DNA. You might even get a sense of your helix, your DNA now, releasing and shifting as you embody and release and surrender and let go. And it's almost like from this space, when we feel into that auric field or that etheric field, like that electromagnetic field outside of us, almost like we've got electricity sparks of energy coming out of us, hooking on to other people's or other things' energies. We're going to invite that enmeshment now to be closed, that loop, that circuit, to be disengaged, what's not serving us. Where we're meeting others in their shame or their lack or their judgment or their perceptions. And we're closing that off because we don't need it anymore. We're aware of it now. We have awarenesses. What did it mean about me? I'm sorry, Mia, if I'm connecting on that way. I'm sorry, Mia, if I'm resonating in that way. Forgive me. If I'm storing pain, suffering here, because I'm afraid to let it go, because that's all I know, that's my identity. It operates from me, it maybe gives me my driving force. Maybe it's had a gain for me, but right now it's not serving me. It's perhaps keeping me limited to the limitlessness that there is there, the untapped potential there is. So if that's true on any programs from my father, from my mother, so I am getting this, there is programming here for a lot of people, that's why I'm saying that. We're going to invite that to be released, particularly around earth, how earthing, particularly around worth, around safety, how we show up, the face we put on, how we are perceived by others, what we even think is a purpose, but is actually an ideal. And it's not fully embodied. So we're in sacrifice mode, or we're in martyrdom mode, or we're in overgiving mode. So anywhere that is, revoke, rescind, delete that. Again, it's not coming from the purest divine source. That's what we're inviting in.
Any fears again? Separateness, disassociation, numbness. And I'm going to just say a couple of things here. Anywhere anybody has had miscarriages and loss, and anywhere that may still be there, we're going to invite that healing in. Anywhere there's been sexual trauma, we're going to invite the healing in of that as well. Anywhere there's been addictions to alcohol, food, drugs, any other addictions at all, we're going to invite the healing in of that. Anywhere where those are being amplified right now as we're receiving these energies in as well. So we're just going to clear that field. Anywhere where, and I'm just being shown the blood disorders, immune disorders, inflammation in the body, and anywhere where any of us that have developed immune response disorders, we're going to invite in the healing and the recalibration of that. And some of that might have been a soul contract, some of it maybe have been from a trauma. This is what we deserve, this is what we carry forward. This gives me love and connection, but it's distorted. Anywhere where that is, we're going to invoke, revoke, rescind, delete that across all time, space, dimensions, and the reality as well. Okay, so you know who I'm talking to with this. Ami aman kata ian shamal na kutur oman hete bala hasha ihim gal indgar kunt ete basham na kuriele. As we breathe in and you're in this beautiful space, maybe you're by the beach walking in the water or on the mountain breathing in the fresh air. Feel it on your skin and your body. And as you're breathing in this space, get the impression of your energy fields, your womb space within you and your womb. Like the breath itself is clearing you out. Energy is working through you, within, without you, above you, within you, all parts of you. So breathing in. Any awarenesses that needs to happen for you. Whatever I made mean about me. In other words, if you're sensing you're holding on to something, what did you make that mean about you? Did you take it as a responsibility? Was it something you had to do, a punishment? Are you giving yourself permission? Are you allowed to let go of this stuff that's not yours? So even some people feeling they're not allowed to, that they have to. So revoke, rescind, delete all vows, all the programs with that. And let it out. Oh. Softening, opening the legs again, letting out all energies that are not serving you. And I'm particularly inviting in the Magdalene love energy here, almost like she's an egg for you, a rose for you to bloom in there. And receive that divine energy of love in your womb space, your creation, your fertility, your abundance zone. And let that go right down to the root now, feeling yourself in the root. Are you safe in your body? Is your body safe? Do you have permission to be safe? If not, why not? Follow that. I'm not safe because. Breathe into it. And anywhere you've been let down in the past where the evidence was you cannot be safe, right? Because you've framed your life around that story. Revoke, rescind, delete that. And any awarenesses, any gifts that story had for you, we're inviting the refraining. We're going to reframe it. You received a soul awareness from that experience. What could that have been? Was it deeper love, unconditional love? Was it forgiveness? Is there anything I need to forgive me? Do I need to feel forgiven even by someone else, if that's true? But can I forgive me first? And breathe that in. Anywhere I feel like it's my fault for XYZ. Breathe in. I'm sorry, me, forgive me. I now invite in a clearing, a release, to be held in love, please. Ashi na wai shi na hosho ahi tina kare kara kura hata nai tina masa nena yi buna nana mana buna nana nana buna nana nana kete utamana katara katana mana kutora mana kete tada barar kura mana kade barar kura mana kade barar kura mana kade barar kura mana bade kadar kushi shara sayao Nayete na u sanneao vanyao mawa Ishite intkama shana usurova neiti kala asanye. Again, that essence of withholding receiving is coming in. So anywhere it's not safe to receive, it has conditions. Revoke, rescind, delete that. Be in your own receivership. What would it be like to fully receive you? All of you right here, right now. And as you release the hooks, the ties, the binds that have kept you enclosed and maybe suffering and in pain during these ascension symptoms, we invite that openness with ease and grace and flow. I receive. I am open. I am safe. I am loved. I am held. And I breathe that in. Let that land like an elixir running down through your body, infiltrating your blood, your cells, your bones. And asking yourself now in this space, what is the truth of me? Breathe it in. Receive. Asking, is there anything I need to know, me? Breathe that in, let it land and receive. What do I need, me? Breathe it in, let it land, and listen. Connect. Thank you. Whatever it was you needed, invite that in. If it had colors, one color or many, let those colors now swirl above you and around you. Perhaps it's purples or pinks or greens or blues or golds or whites. Any color at all, just let it come. You get a sense of those colors above you and you're breathing them in. They're entering through the crown. They're washing over you like a waterfall, all the way down through the throat and the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, the root, all the way into the body. And you're feeling and sensing all that's not of you, all that is not you, all the ancestral stuff that's been carried, all the karmic stuff and the trauma from this life is just melting away on the exhale. It's leaving your body, it's leaving you. And you're being filled up by this light, the harmonic consciousness of truth, of love, of Source itself. And it's working its way through you, within you, down to your legs, down to your feet, running through your feet, opening up those feet chakras right into the Earth Star. Beneath your feet, your Earth Star chakra. Clearing and cleansing all of that there. Tapping you into the Earth, the heart of Earth itself. Into her love, her abundance, Gaia. And all of the stuff that's coming up from the Earth. Memories and traumas of the Earth. Wars and destruction. That too is being cleared as you breathe in and breathe down. Into the truth. The stillness of that. So let yourself float down through your feet into the Earth now. And into her vast caverns of knowingness, of love. Into her core. Into her temple of love. And let her speak to you. Through your body, through your thoughts, your mind, through your heart, your soul, through your womb, your root. Let her speak to you. What is she saying? Shanzama Shinyataye Laya Santako Yatara Nahatara Antara Sanaye Kuya Yehnama Kadushnaha Samna Kunya Nama Se Yusanzam Yanam Zunzia Ze Zozazia Ze Zozazia Ze Zoom. Ihansa Antama Aku Intkana Heshila Atakara Namaswaye. Vayarar Kanavru. Vayara Karavaru. Dokantka Eshe. And allow yourself to attune to her energy. As you breathe in, you receive of her, and as you breathe out, you exhale into her your love, your truth, your signature. And as you do this, you're activating the grid lines beneath you, within the earth, attuning you to her, attuning it to you, and all of the abundance that earth has for you. This is the elements of golds and metals and jewels. This is the abundance the earth has for us in this love that we will never want. She will provide as we love her in this way. She invites us to ground now. Feel the roots going in, feel that magnetic force, totally relaxing your body. Like your muscles are opening. Completely relaxing, surrendering, letting go. She's taking in all of the rest of what's not serving you and transmuting it in the glorious way that she knows how. The geomagnetic fields balanced. Waves harmonized, particles harmonized, down to the atomic force within us and within the earth, matter itself. Thank you. And as you breathe in now, connecting back into your heart, I love you, me, thank you, me. Thank you, body of me. And anything that your body needs, you can ask now, what do I need, body? Anything at all. Water or food or activity or stillness. and you'll receive what it is you need for the rest of the day or the week. We invite that tuning to continue like a pitchfork, totally tuning you throughout this process as these incoming waves from the solar flares, the flashes, the plasma that's coming through, the solar plasma, we're inviting that now to balance and harmonize. We're inviting in as well our soul star family, our team, our healing team, to completely encase, protect our field now as it's been clarified, as it's been attuned from any frequencies not serving us, be they 5G or any other frequencies, as we integrate the highest truth. Thank you. As you're taking a breath in now, present, here, now, back in your body, wiggling your hands, wiggling your toes, opening your eyes, becoming fully present with your now. Welcome back. Thank you for joining. Take a sip of water. And just let that settle in. Let whatever it is you receive settle into your physical, into your field. And any information that came through for you, words of wisdom, action steps, movement. And this is a message. Again, this is the 4th time she's been pulled since I've been on a live this week, last week. And her energy is, it's not up here, it's not out in the clouds, it's not up with the angels. She's all about coming, living on earth. She lived a real life here on earth. She was a very beautiful, powerful woman. She was a widower and a very successful businesswoman. Like, she created her own business in a time where men were the only ones that did that. And her message is, she's the first woman who was Muslim, right? So her whole energy was very much about empowerment. You can see her stance. Her stance is a power stance. She wears red, very root chakra, sacral chakra. She has activated, look at her crown and causal completely activated. She is tuned into her inner knowing of her physical body, but also source. She is tapped and tuned into Mother Earth too, because she created vast amounts of wealth in her businesses. Now, she's from the 6th century, something like that. I'm spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. So even in times where there was lack, especially for women, she was formulating, creating, accessing that creation energy to create abundance for her family. She had a huge family and she had to provide for them. And even in difficult times, she managed to do that through her belief. And also she worked a lot on her scarcity aspects. She didn't believe in that. She believed that being connected to God didn't mean we had to be poor. Being connected to source and being a woman didn't mean we had to be provided for. We could provide for ourselves in our own divine willpower. So that was her essence, her energy. She provides heaven and earth for her own self. She creates her heaven on earth. Now, she listened to her sinks, her dreams. In her dream, she had a dream. She was a woman who wasn't afraid to get what she wanted as well. She was married twice and widowed twice. She was in her 40s, a middle-aged woman at this stage when she became very successful. And one of her dreams was she knew the prophet was coming, and it was a young man that came working from her, and he was in his 20s, so there was like a 20-30 year age gap. And she knew how she could help him, and this was the guidance she got, was she would marry him and provide for him so that he could do his work. In other words, be the prophet. And they lived a very, very happy marriage, a very, very happy life, completely open consciously with each other in communication, open in every single way, and created a beautiful stepping stone for the prophet to move forward with his teachings at the time of peace and love. So that is her message coming through, though, that we can facilitate these amazing energies to work for us right now. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us, is a lot of her message. And also there's a lot of abundance for us to tap into right now. And a lot of us might feel disconnected from that, especially with what's happening right now in the world, where it could be difficult for people. All right, my darlings, that is the message that's coming through. That was the clearing and the healings and the activations. I hope you enjoyed it, and sending you all lots and lots and lots of love. And from my heart to yours, this was freely offered, freely given. Please share it if you feel it would help others. I will probably do another talk on special needs and those with special needs, because that was part of the dream that happened 2 nights ago, and the difficulties they're having right now as well with their energy. It's, you know, how they tap into things is almost different and more amplified than the rest of us sometimes. So that's anybody on the spectrum or considered that way, or special needs like autism, Asperger's, Down syndrome. That's as much as coming to me around that right now as well. Again, I'm not an expert, I'm just going to convey what's coming through. So, my lovely, sending you lots of love. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for staying with me. This has been a whopper of a live, a couple of hours. Whoa. Love you lots. Bye.